How would you like to get your very own Airbnb in 2026? Well, I'm going to show you the do's and the don'ts. So I've been doing this for about 10 years, guys, since 2016. When I first got into Airbnb, I'm telling you, I couldn't spell the word Airbnb. I might be embellishing a little bit there, but I was wet behind the ears. I had no idea what to say to landlords. I had no idea what locations to get into. And I certainly didn't know how to get in travel professionals versus people that are coming in to party. Think about it two ways. There's a vacation rental, which is where people are coming into vacation, drink, there's gonna be drugs, there's gonna be neighbors complaining, there's gonna be people parking all over the grass, and then you're just gonna have issues with the landlord. The other way is that you're gonna bring in travel professionals. So I want you to think about these five. Think about maybe a travel nurse, a doctor, a patient, an engineer, a military. Now these people that are coming into the property are there to work, they're not there to party. So they come in, they stay for a couple weeks, couple months, they go to work, they go home, they go to sleep, they go to work again. That's generally what you want in a property. So how do we actually talk to a landlord? Now, what I've been teaching to our 3,000 plus students since 2020 that I got in, started in 2016, I built an empire for me and my family, and then decided, you know what, during COVID, why don't I get into an industry? People are already going home looking for side income, people that could work remotely, they could be wherever they want, be on a cell phone and actually get into Airbnb. Now, the big picture here is that when you're talking to landlords, I'm gonna give you two scenarios. Scenario number one, we're gonna talk to a landlord the wrong way. Scenario number two, I'm gonna show you what's worked over and over and over again for our students with hundreds and hundreds of properties and how they actually get the landlord to say yes. Now, think about it this way. There's always two ways to get an Airbnb. There's one where you buy the property from a landlord, right? You go to a bank, you have your interest rates, you got your down payment, you've got your furnishing, right? You got your expenses on interest rates, etc. There's a lot of fees going into a purchase. What I teach is called Airbnb arbitrage. It's a simple way and a fancy way of saying, why don't we get a property from a landlord who already has the property? And we're just gonna get their permission to use it for Airbnb and other short-term rental platforms. Now, people have heard about this over the years. Maybe you're watching me and you've never heard this before. Well, guess what? Landlords have heard about Airbnb Host. They've heard of Vrbo, Furnish Finder, Marriott Home and Villas, Flipkey, Expedia, Travelocity. They've heard of Booking.com. These platforms have been out for over, almost 2 decades. So when you call a landlord, don't think they haven't heard of this before. It's how you say it to the landlord that actually gets them to say yes, versus you beating up the phones for hundreds and hundreds of calls and landlords hanging up on you. Scenario number one. Hi, James. Love your property at 123 La La Street. Look, me and my boo are in the neighborhood. We've been living here for about 10 years. We love your property. We would like to know if we could take the property and you would allow us to put it on Airbnb. We'll come in, we'll furnish the whole property, we'll get it ready, we're ready to pay our first month of rent. It's just a perfect neighborhood. And look, me and my wife work very hard. We wanna make a little extra income for the family. And we would like to, use your property for short term for Airbnb, and we'll make sure we take care of the property. Problem number one. Whenever you say the word Airbnb to a landlord, I want you guys to think about this right now. What is the first word that comes to your mind? If you're a landlord and I came to you and said, I want to Airbnb your house, I'm even going to give you the first letter of the word. Starts with a letter F. I'm just kidding. Starts with a letter P for Paul. What is the first word that comes to your mind when I say, I want to Airbnb your house? If it starts with a letter P, parties. And that's the same thing the landlord thinks when you're contacting them. They think you're gonna come in, it's gonna be a big party town, and the neighbors are gonna complain and their place is gonna get trashed. So instead, here's the exact script that we talk to owners. If you're talking to a property management company or if you're talking to a realtor, it's a little bit different of a pitch, because for a property manager, they just want to fill up the property. And for realtors, they're looking to expand. So we're going to use a little bit different terminology than we're talking to a homeowner. I'm going to give you the homeowner pitch first. I'll share with you the homeowner first, and then I'll share with you a little clip of the management and the real estate company's as well, so you know how that pitch goes. And if you guys stay to the end of the video, if you really want to know what our students are saying to get apartments, I'll have a link where you can book a free call, and that's on the inside. That's what our students have right now, where they can actually reach out to an apartment complex, and there you're able to expand very quickly because you can get multiple properties at the same time. That's an inside secret. But here's how you're going to say it. When you're contacting a landlord, there's two ways, okay? Now, I know there's a lot of gurus out there that are teaching you to go get a cup of coffee and bring it to the landlord and meet them in person. And while that is good information, what if you wanted to do it remotely? If you want to run the business remotely because maybe the city you live in is not the greatest Airbnb area. I mean, think about it this way. If you live in a small town in Bumblefuck, Minnesota, am I supposed to Airbnb there just because that's where I live with me and my family and I know the area? No. What if there's more sheep than people? Should I still Airbnb there? No, you want to go where the occupancy is. You want to go where the revenue is. You want to go where people are, there's jobs being created, where there's markets that are strong, not just because you live there. What if I showed you how to do it remotely, where you never have to travel? What if you didn't have to furnish? That saves you $5,000 on more minimum on each property. So I'm going to teach you how to do this without buying the property, without furnishing it. I'm going to teach you how to do this without even paying the first month of rent to a landlord. And as we've always said, there's no credit needed. But this is the pitch that we've used over and over again thousands of times to get landlords to say yes. Mr. Landlord, absolutely love your property at 123 La La Street and how you furnished it. What a beautiful location. Let me tell you a little bit about what we do. We're a corporate leasing company. We welcome in travel professionals like nurses, doctors, patients, engineers, and military into the property. We're going to keep the property in for sale condition. Let me tell you why. We have a professional cleaning crew that comes in once or twice a week and actually deep cleans the property from the baseboards all the way up to the top of the ceiling fans. We have no smokers. We have no pets. We generally have no little children. I mean, we're not going to paint the back bedrooms green and pink for the kids and have a dog out there digging holes in your yard. Okay? We will treat the property like it's our own and respect it all the way through. Okay? Now listen, Mr. Landlord, I know you've been sitting on a property for 6 to 8 months and it's been vacant. I'll tell you this. I'll rent the property today for a 1-year lease. I'll sign the lease under today under one condition. You give me 4 weeks of free rent. It's a rent concession. Let me go in there and get it ready for our corporate clients, but I'll sign a 2-year lease with you if you accept. Not only will I sign a 1-year lease, but I'll sign a 2-year lease with you to show you we're actually really serious. We'll make sure the rent's paid every single month on time. Do we have a deal? And again, guys, listen, when you're a corporate leasing company, if you think about this for a second, it expands your horizon. Airbnb is one little marketing company. You have Airbnb, Vrbo, Booking.com, Furnish Finder. They're the main 4. When you put the property up on these 4 platforms and you understand how to do SEO, which is what we do for our students, it's called search engine optimization. We can get the property on Airbnb and these other platforms and we can rank you to beat out Superhost and beat out guest favorites in your first month. But the key here is that when you're talking to a landlord, you never say the word Airbnb because instantly they think of party. Now, are the landlords going to know that we're putting the property on Airbnb? Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you why. Because what we do is we share with our students. It is called a lease addendum. This is a 1-page document, okay, that I'm showing you right here, that basically allows you to use somebody else's property for Airbnb. We never sneak into someone's property and not tell them what we're doing. They sign this 1-page document that says, hey, listen, I understand that you're not going to be the one renting the property and living there, okay? We rent the property under our LLC, but we don't actually live in the property. The landlord is saying, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you renting the property under your LLC, and I'm going to allow you to bring in short-term rental guests. And so now we have a property. When I started, guys, I had a 540 credit score and I had a eviction on my credit. And I still was able to get landlords to say yes. Going back to the initial conversation where we had talked about, do we want to meet a landlord in person or over the phone? It really depends on the market. If you look right here, these are the top 15 cities in America based on our opinion. We've looked at 20, 30,000 cities. We feel that these are the best 15 cities right here. Now, if you live in one of these cities, great, go meet the landlord. Say, hi, listen, landlord, can I come by Thursday, let's say 10 a.m., 11 o'clock? I would love to come by your property and see if it's a good fit. Whoa, 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 what is it that you guys do? Yeah, we're a corporate leasing company. We welcome travel professionals into the property. Sometimes they stay for 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes they stay for 2 to 3 months at a time. But they keep the property in for sale condition, and we make sure that every single month the rent is made on time. Again, no smokers, no pets, generally no little children, and we'll treat the property like it's our own. You can walk in, Mr. Landlord, at any point in time, and you'll know that that property stays in that condition, that better condition it is right now. So now you guys know that if you're talking to a landlord, just keep the word Airbnb out of your mouth and make sure that you're saying either corporate leasing company, corporate housing company, vacation rentals. You can say something like corporate accommodations. There's all different things, and a lot of people have heard of these. We like to use corporate leasing company. It tends to work the best on our team here. Now, let's fast forward for a second here. What do you do when a landlord actually says, you know, I'm okay? Well, let's just put it this way. If a landlord said they're okay with you using their property for short-term rentals, does that mean necessarily that that property is going to make sense financially for you? No. Because what you need to do from there is take the address of the property and then bring it into a software called AirDNA. Okay, you can go set up a free account. That's AIRDNA.co. Take the address from Zillow, post it in the software. It's going to make sure that you got to make sure your bedrooms and bathrooms match Zillow. It's going to give you revenue. You're going to take that number. You're going to divide by 12 months. You're going to then subtract rent, whatever they're asking on Zillow, and then an additional $300 to $400 for electric and water. That's going to give you a potential net profit. Remember, we don't have to take out cleaning fees out of our profit because the guests, when they stay in the property, always pay for the cleaning fee up front. They book for 5 nights, they're going to pay for 5 nights plus 1 cleaning fee. So you don't have to take out your profit because it's paid up front by the guest that's staying in your property. If I'm talking to a management company, right? Or I'm talking to a realtor, I am going to talk to them slightly different. We're a corporate leasing company. We welcome in travel professionals, nurses, doctors, etc. You know, we have a budget of a couple $100,000. We're looking for multiple properties in the area. We absolutely love this property, and we'd love to come by and meet you and see if it's a good fit for our clients. Okay? What am I doing? I'm talking to a property management or a realtor, and all they care about, for the most part, is getting commission. So the minute you start talking about, hey, I'm looking to get multiple properties, we have budgets of a couple $100,000 a year, this is a great area, we have a lot of corporate clients that are looking to come in, we love to come meet you, their ears perk up because guess what? Now they are working with a lot of different homeowners and they're trying to get their properties rented. They got to go back and they got to sell the homeowner on what we do. So the more enticing it is to a property manager or a real estate agent that you're saying, I'll take multiple properties. Think about this. A realtor isn't just working with one homeowner. They're generally working with a lot of different homeowners. And what is their job? Get the property rented. So if you said, hey, I'm looking for a bunch of different properties over the next 6 months, we're gonna be looking for 10, 15 properties. We have a budget of a couple $100,000 a year for our corporate clients. Bing! Now they're interested. You've got them excited because they get commission on each property they rent. They're gonna go to the homeowner, they're gonna sell it for you. When you're talking to the homeowner, you're like, hey, listen, we're a corporate leasing company. We welcome in travel professionals. We'll keep your property in for sale condition. When you're talking to a realtor, you say, hey, listen, we're a corporate leasing company. We welcome in travel professionals. We have a budget of a couple $100,000 and we're looking for about 10, 15 properties over the next 6 months. And if you got to reach out to the landlord and talk to them, you got to let them know that we're going to keep their property in for sale condition. We have no smokers, no pets, generally no little children, and we're going to take the property and treat it like it's our own. What landlord would want to have a regular tenant come in the property? If we're going to do the same thing as a landlord, which is sign a 1-year lease and keep the property in for sale condition, what landlord is going to want a traditional tenant to come in the property? Have you ever rented a property before? If I walked into your house, is it in for sale condition? Do you sweep the floors? Do you clean the baseboards? Do you make sure the ceiling fans are done? Do you have that property in for sale condition if I walked into your property where you live right now? No, of course not. Why? Because you're living there. As an Airbnb property, the property has to stay in immaculate condition. That is our job, so we make money. So when the realtor or the management company go back to the homeowner, they're going to sell it as keeping their property in for sale condition for them. You guys make sense of this? But you got to make sure you have the addendum. The addendum is what tells the landlord, it's a 1-page document, that tells the landlord that you're not going to live there and that they're open to using the property for short-term rental platforms like Airbnb, vrbo, booking.com, Furnish Finder. They're the top 4 right there, okay? When you're finding properties, guys, on Zillow, just make sure you're looking for properties less than 2 to 3 miles from major hospitals, okay? Or at least one of these 4 H's: hills, hospitals, hotels, H2O. H2O means a property with a pool or a hot tub or a lake or an ocean view. That's always going to do better. A property with a pool or hot tub or lake and ocean view will beat out mostly any other property. It's the #1 and the #2 search amenity for Airbnb and other short-term rental platforms. Okay, you also got to think about this. What is a mountain? A hill, right? Think of the Poconos. Think of places that are in Georgia, right? Think about places that are in, Arizona. Mountains are hills. People tend to want to go around mountains. They like it and tend to do really well for short-term. The third thing is a hotel. Remember, a hotel and an Airbnb is the same business. It's just that they have more rooms. It's both hospitality business. So anytime you can be around the nicer hotels like the Marriotts, the Hiltons, the DoubleTrees, etc., not the Red Roof Inn, you're gonna beat out the competition by lowering your prices slightly from what a hotel like a Marriott might charge $300, $400 a night. Well, what if you got a 2 or 3 bedroom and you can charge $250 a night? And you can give them a full kitchen, a full washer dryer. They don't have to eat out breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They get full privacy, 5 times the amount of square footage in a hotel. That's why they're gonna choose an Airbnb over a hotel. So you wanna be less than 2 miles from major hotels. Less than 2 miles from any of these 4, guys, okay? And the last one is the hospitals. And this is what's tend to work really well for me and my team and a lot of our students. Get close to major hospitals to draw in people that are coming into work. Nurses, doctors, patients. Those 3 right there keep our properties full, right? In the great areas, you should be looking at 75 to 90% occupancy. If your property is completely booked out 100%, that is not a good thing. Let's just use this scenario right here. Is it better to have a 90% occupancy at $150 a night? Or is it better to get 100% occupancy at $100 a night? If you're getting 100% occupancy, that means that your prices are too low. So the sweet spot we have found is about 92 to 94% occupancy rate, because that means you're priced perfectly. What I want to show you guys is this, and if you want any information, if you want to book a call, a free strategy call, love to hop on a quick call with you, check it out, show you. We'll do like a 15-minute call with you, share with you the different markets. We'll look at your market. I'll pull everything up into software, make sure everything's good for you guys. Listen, we have over 3,000 students that are very happy. We love to have you part of our team, part of our family. I'm going to put a link inside the description for the addendum for you guys, so you have the actual agreement between you and the landlord that you're going to sign, and they're going to sign to letting you Airbnb their house. And then also you'll see our website down there where you guys can again book the call, see all of our testimonials. We have hundreds of 5-star ratings and love to have you part of our family as well. But this is the actual script that we've been using for years to getting a lot of properties and having our students with such success. Corporate leasing company, not Airbnb.
Hey Mike, Mara here. Just wanted to wish you a happy birthday and say thank you for the opportunity. Thanks for the mentoring. Thanks for the awesome energy you have given me since day one. I wish you the best, plenty of success always, and can't wait to see what's more to come. 2 months down with the program, a lifetime of gain, insight, and I'm super grateful. I appreciate you. Happy birthday. Wish I was there. I'll be there for the next one.
So I just want to thank Mike for such an amazing program. I just came on a couple of weeks ago, busy nurse, but I'm so grateful for this program. Miss Bonnie helped me and I closed on my first house today. Yay! So thank you so much, Mike, for such an amazing program. I'm excited and looking forward to retiring soon and not having to, work double shift like I do as a nurse. So thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Danielle Thorne, and I just want to say that I am very happy and very pleased with the onboarding process of Mike's program, Airbnb Investor Mike's program. I spoke with him last week, him and Alec last week. It was a little funny because my husband wasn't initially on board, but we found a way to push forward and move through the process. And I'm grateful and thankful to be here. Here we are today. I am on board. I am looking for working with you guys and financial freedom someday. I am grateful and thankful, and the process was so easily done, and you guys held my hand through everything. Thank you guys, and I'm grateful and thankful to be working with you. Have a great one.
Hey, it's Josiah here in Michigan, and big shout out to Mike. I'm here hustling to keep hustling. I'm tearing up the floor right now, but a big shout out to Shani and Lauren and Mike and Mark. These have all been great in the chat, responding back, reviewing my properties and saying, yeah, this is gonna work, let's go. Here's an issue, let's work on this. Oh, thanks, bud, and all cool stuff like this. And I appreciate you guys. You've definitely changed my life for the better, and we're definitely gonna make more money next year than I've ever made in my life doing a job. All right, thank you. 5-star review. All right, 5 stars. Actually, you know what? 6 stars just to make it better. All right, thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. Click the link below, book a free strategy call. Let's see if it's a good fit for us to work together. Love to help you out. I'll even show you how to get the properties fully furnished without even paying your first month of rent. We're the only coaching company that jumps on a call with you and the landlord and closes the deals for you guys. Book your call below. Let's roll.